చేసుకోండి, అది ఫాస్ట్గా ఉంటుంది. ఎక్లిప్స్ అసలు వాడపడలేదు. వీ కెన్ యూస్ STS. VS Code is also fine, but for only Java, for automation and all, we'll use STS again. But before starting the class, I also need to open STS because this IDs will take at least 1 to 2 minutes. అందువల్ల right, I got it. ఇక్కడ ఉంటాయన్నమాట, we can open it. So screen is visible, right? So we'll start with today's topics. Where is this? Fourth module. So basically we covered primitive and non-primitive data types, boxing, auto boxing, and typecasting, iteration of loops and conditions in yesterday topics. So we just repeated the same here. I will just remove this here and I'll just put there. I'll just migrate in the next sessions. So today we'll see strings, conditions, scanner class, buffer reader, and file reader. Okay. So these are very important so that you need to practice more. Otherwise it will be difficult for you. After that, we'll see default constructors, parameterized constructors, and constructor overloading. And after that, we'll go with whoops. After whoops, I will do overall. That's it. So not more than that. Not more than that. Before that, I think we have exception handling. I'll just move it up. So I want to be there it in 7th place. After exception handling, I want to make recap. That's it. Okay. Fine. So we'll continue with same. Okay. So what is primitive and non-primitive data type? What is the difference, Mahesh? Like which are not objects. What is non-primitive, Ahmad? No. All the Java classes like float class, integer class, double class, those are non-primitive types, which are object types. I will show you that. You don't practice, I think. So let's see here. See, these random questions might ask. So you need to be prepared, whether you are preparing or not. With first answer only, I will get to know. Okay. Just practice it. See, I'll just create you prim and non-prim. So once you created that, just enter main. We have main method. So now this integer, we have a equal to 25. What is the non-primitive for integer? Sorry, primitive for class, non-primitive class, object class. What is equivalent integer, which is an object? This is not object. This is primitive, right? We want to means it is primitive means it is not object, right? Not object. I want to make object Java as 100% object oriented. What you will do with this? How you can convert this primitive to? How you can convert to this object? You need to convert that into non-primitive, which is integer class. Integer from java.lang package. Just enter it. I will say a is equal to a. So it will automatically cache that. It is auto typecasting. Basically, it will be auto boxing. Will not make it as typecast. Typecasting means casting from one data type to another data type. But boxing and auto boxing or unboxing means boxing means we are wrapped up into the object. Integer is a class. For class, a will be an object. You already know. Age will be an object. But here a will be not be an object. I already debugged you. So you need to prepare for that. Okay. This is the non-primitive type, which is an object. Now Java become 100% object oriented if you use integer class instead of int. This is primitive and this is non-primitive, which is an object type. Object type. Okay. So that is what. And what is the equivalent non-primitive for the long? Can you tell me, Ahmad? Equivalent non-primitive class for long. Susmita. So I created non-primitive for integer using lang.integer so that it is boxed. It is boxed and wrapped into the object reference, which is an integer is a class means the variable which you created for integer type will become an object for that. Now, what is the non-primitive for class for long? Susmita, tell me. Non-primitive. Same we have long, madam. Java.lang we have ln equal to ab. Okay. Actually, we are not using L because it's already used well. We are just assigning the value. Okay. D equal to before D. What is the non-primitive equivalent for the double? Same, we have the same. You no need to think about it. I already written this in class. If you see the recording also, you might remember. Means you didn't see the recording also. You didn't practice it also. But from tomorrow, let's practice. If you don't practice, I won't start the class. If you're not answering my questions, I will not go with the next step. Okay. If we are practicing and if you're following, then only I can go. Otherwise, in the next class, if I write this, you can't understand. So that we don't want. We want focus. Okay. Many things will happen. You want IPL match, everything. We also want IPL match. But I want Java also. Hmm? Susmita. Next. Boolean A equal to true. What is the equivalent non-primitive class for Boolean? Stand up and tell me. Speak loud, otherwise speak loud. So basically, we have Boolean from java.lang only. From language only, we have data type classes, okay? If you want to wrap it up to the object, you can have that, okay? Now, if you want to store more than one character, which data type you will prefer? More than one string. So what is the string type? Means what is the string that is primitive or non-primitive? Primitive. Why primitive? And why not non-primitive? Primitive means it will become as pink color, which are keywords, which are not objects. But you see, string is a class. String is a class from java.lang. Means it's a non-primitive, it's an object type. So there is no non-primitive for string. You can't store. Even C++ also you don't have string. You should have character array like this. Char, you want to store more than one value, right? That will be an array. Like this, you need to mention actually. Okay. So character array will be there in non-primitive, but there is no string as non-primitive. Okay, there is no string for primitive. It's directly non-primitive. It's directly object reference. It's directly a class. So for string, there is no equivalent primitive. Okay, you can directly remember that in any programming language. Okay, so that is the thing. Long, int, double. So if you want to store in points, what is the data type which you prefer first? Huh? Is it primitive or non-primitive? Primitive. Okay. If it is primitive, what is the equivalent class for non-primitive there here for float? Hmm? Directly, you need to get the direct answer. Equivalent non-primitive class is float only. Okay, we'll continue. We'll continue with strings and arrays. This is the thing. We'll go with strings. You should not create string class because string class is there in java.jdk file. Both will collide when you are running it. So strings I put yes so that I cannot directly create long class, integer class because those are already there in Java. You should not create your own class with the same name. Okay. Right. So now String is a class which you want to store something in the combination of characters. Okay, right, that is fine. So now we can have a number of operations in the string. So those operations, how to check? Use name. So normally name will be the object for the string. We are assigning some value to the name. Means this object will have value as Ahmad, which is of type string, which is a non-primitive data type. If you press name dot, we'll have all these methods. Got it, right? I want to check, I want to get the index one. So normally for arrays or strings, it will starts with index. So basically, how it will start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it is 5 indexes, means we have 6 characters. First characters will be 0, second character will be at 1, third character will be at the second index, fourth character will be at third index, fifth character will be at fourth index, sixth character will be at fifth index. So basically string or arrays we can read with index. So now I want fifth character. I want to print fifth character. Means what is the fifth character is A. Means we want to get character at fifth index. So we have the same name at caret at fourth index, right? This is one. Now it will directly print it. Otherwise, you can store it in some, since it's a character, right? We'll store in char c equal to like this. So you'll get the character. You can print like this. You can print C. Otherwise, you can directly print this one also. You got it, right? Anyway, it is getting value. You're directly printing that. Otherwise, you are storing it to some variable. You are printing that. That is also fine. That's your convenience. But we want to reduce the lines of code, right? So directly we are printing that. That is one. Again, we have name dot chars. We will get as int stream. So this we will not use it. But as a practice, we can do that. So again, what also we want to compare with one string to another string. We have compare. So basically, we'll have one more string. Name2 equal to AHAMAD. So what it will happen is, if you put name equal to name1, name2, right? What will be the output of this? Just tell me, anyone. Hmm? Means we were comparing that. Tell me whether it is true or false. Hmm? Let's see what will happen. And I need to tell the reason also, okay? I will put else condition because else will fail it. Definitely it might fail. It might fail means I need to check, right? It is false. I need to tell you the reason, okay? It is true. So now what will happen? So basically what it will happen, normally it currently it's compared with value. So basically how we need to compare, because string is an object. Objects you should not directly compare, even though currently it is okay, fine. But I will just make something string buffer s equal to new string buffer. Again I will put Ahmad. What is string buffer? I will tell you. So both are same, right? Two string. We need to compare this. Otherwise, what I will do, I'll just create again one more string buffer s1. What is string buffer? I will tell you. Okay. Let's see what happens. It is false. So basically, string buffer is a class for string, but string is also a class which is immutable. I will tell you what is happening. So basically, you should compare string dot compares using name dot uh, compare to another string. Compare to another string with name2. Second, what is the return type of it? This is an integer. Okay, let's store this. greater than 0. So normally, I'll just compare this and I will show you and I will explain you again. So actually it is saying false. So basically, just put something. Int result equal to name dot compare. I'll just print it system dot out dot println result. Then let's see what will happen. It is 0. Means if it is, what is the output of it? If it is equal, then if it is equal, then it is returning 0. If it is not equal, if it is not equal, then what it will get it. So I will tell you what is happening here. So just put one more d here. Put one more d here, and let's try this. Run it. It is -1. So if it is equal, then it is returning 0. Means it is comparing and providing as 0. Means that is equal. If it is not equal, then we are getting -1. Means if it is not equal, we are getting -1. That is the return type, which is an integer, right? So now we got the result. If result equal to 0, this is true. If we want to mention one more condition, if else, right? Result equal to -1, it is false. You got it, right? Else, if not, if else. You already know this. Let's compare this again. So it's false. So normally we can directly compare two strings using dot compare two. And we cannot directly compare two string objects. Might be it is getting the correct now, but internally objects will have an ID. So I will tell you what is an ID for that. Why it is having an ID, I will show debug. So just put some debugger pointer here. I'm just putting some debugger here. So I will debug as Java application. See now, just hover on it. See, it is having some hash value ID. Again, if you hover on this, you have hash value 29 and values 30. So basically what is happening, whenever you create some string object, it will create an object reference in the memory pool, which will be as a heap memory. Objects will be stored in the heap memory. So whenever that application is loaded into your mobile phone or in your system, that will be stored in the random access memory, which is the volatile memory. Whenever you close that particular file, that will be removed from the RAM. You already know that. If something is stored, that will be in a hard disk, which is the permanent storage. So now in this particular RAM, there is a slot which having an ID 29. There it is stored. So now if you directly compare name equal to name2, that will compare with respect to the ID and value. But we want to compare only value. That's why we are using dot to compare. Otherwise, what you need to do, you just comment it down. Comment this and how you can compare directly. Name dot to string. Okay, to string equal to name to dot to string. So finally we'll getting the string value of that, right? We are getting it or not? Finally, we are comparing the string of that. I'll just terminate it because debugging mode is enabled. If debugging mode is enabled, you didn't stop the debugging. If you edit some code and save it, it will try to ask to terminate because it is in debugging mode. Means compiler is running the program, executing line by line. If you are writing some more thing, again it need to compile. That's why it will ask for termination. Okay, again it will need to compile. It will create the class file. You already know. So in order to create that particular class file, again it will terminate. That's why it's terminated now. So now you need to compare this. It will get the string. Now see, sometimes go to YouTube. Search operation will be on strings only mostly. Go to YouTube. Search it here. Angular batch 1 video. Just Angular batch 1. You see Angular capital A also we got. Capital B also we got. Means here uppercase, lowercase, there is no limitation. Just searching uppercase and lowercase both. We need to make that we need to make that available. So we will have as 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase equals ignore case. So basically what we will do, equals ignore case means we need to ignore whether it is uppercase or lowercase. Got it, right? So we need to ignore whether it is uppercase or lowercase. And 2 uppercase or 2 lowercase will convert that into 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase. I will make that name dot to string dot 2 lowercase. So basically, while searching and comparing, everything I will convert to 2 lowercase or everything I will convert into 2 uppercase. So that's why I will not having any confusion. So while comparison operation, see in Aadhaar portal, in PAN card, you have uppercase your names, but in your in Aadhaar card, you have only first letter capital. In your 10th mark list, you have only first letter as capital, right? But here in Aadhaar portal, UAN portal, you have all the capital letters because why they mention capital letters? Because if you write small letters, that might be different. So that string, like if you're writing, that strokes will be different. So some other way might confuse that will be A or E. For that, to avoid this confusion, they made it as uppercase, everything. All the government website will follow uppercase because if it is uppercase or lowercase, it is the same name. So now, whenever we're searching the string in YouTube or any other website, we're going dot two lowercase or two uppercase, so that cases will be different. We need to make it as same case, whether it is uppercase or lowercase, we'll get all the results. Otherwise, we need to use equals ignore case. So that's why we'll get whether if it is uppercase here, we are comparing it to lowercase. Both will be same. It will ignore the case. So that is what we need to have in strings. We have all this. Again, we have some more thing which will use most. We'll use and we need to get the substring of that. I want to check in this particular line, we have angular or not. You got it, right? We need to check that. I think contains, we have this. In JavaScript, we have includes. Got it. We need to check whether we have contains angular or not. If we have contains angular, again, this angular will have capital A. For example, here we have capital A. I want to check again this one as in lowercase, right? For that, again, what I need to do, name dot two lowercase. Two lowercase dot contains of small angular. Then it will return true, right? You know that. So let's store this in some variable. Int result equal to this. It is the boolean. So we should not store in int, right? Because see, once you click on it, control plus click and click on it, you will get the return type of that. It is written in boolean means you should not store boolean in int, right? So that is the primary action we need to take. We need to mention as boolean. Why? Because if it is containing, it will return true. If it is not containing, it will return false. So here we have angular that is contained in this particular string. But you given lowercase a, that might not match. That's why we're making as everything as a lowercase. If you want everything as an uppercase, again you need to mention two uppercase and you need to put everything as an angular. So everything will become this an uppercase in runtime and that will compare this. So that's how we need to store it. These operations we'll be doing. We're not creating our own methods, but we'll just use the existing thing. Let's see what is happening. Just put debugger here. Okay. Run as Java application. Sorry, debug as Java application. Here we are. So we have name. Okay. Now let's see here. Have you observed something here? I already told you. If you are searching that, you need to take dot to string. Directly objects we cannot append. You got it right? Name is an object. We cannot directly append on that. If I'm directly making dot to uppercase, that will be irrelevant. So you need to take the value of that. How to take the value of that? You will get using dot to string. So now let's see what is the name. I will just print it. I will just make you understand. I will just print system dot out name dot to uppercase. This I will print. Again, what I will do, system dot out name dot to string dot to uppercase. Let's see what is printing in both lines. Just run it. Okay, we are taking name. Just take name 2. Just comment it down. Now let's run it. It is true because we are taking name 2. So basically what I suggest is you directly not dot to uppercase on name. Basically you get the string object because this will be an object reference. It is having value. In debugging, you might know it is having some value. Debug as Java application. Pointer will stop here. It is having some value. You just need to take that particular value, right? You need to take that particular value, which is an Ahmad Angler. Always try to get dot to string from the name whenever you're comparing with two strings. Otherwise, if you take it right, sometimes it will be false. Okay. Now the string is immutable. Now I want to change the string name in the next line to name to uh, Angular Arcia. Angular Arcia. If I do this, what it will happen basically, I'll just terminate it because it is in debugging mode. So I want to change the name in the next line. So basically Java strings are immutable. You cannot change it, but we can change it. What is the immutability? Why we cannot change? I will tell you. I'll just put debuggers here and I will just print it. Okay. So that I can show you the name too. Strings are immutable. I'll just debug it. So now let's see, we have name 2. It's not assigned yet. Go to the next line. So here, this is the arrow. We can go to the next line. So now let's see. We have the name with ID 20. Value with ID 27. It is there. Now again, remember this. ID is 20, ID is 27, value is 97. So these are nothing but values. You already know everything will be having some ASCII value. So what is the ASCII value of the small a? I already told you each and everything in the computer will become zeros and ones. Since it is 97, that 97 again will have zeros and ones inside. So small a is 97 in ASCII value. You already know. Let's see the ASCII table and clear it immediately. Yes. See, small a is 97. Decimal means numbers. Hexadecimal, octadecimal, you don't need to follow. Decimal means numbers. See, small a is 97. That's why, if you see zeroth index, I already told you strings will be accessed with indexes. Arrays will also access with indexes. So first letter is small a, that's why it's 97. Everything is converted into values, right? These numbers again will be converted into zeros and ones because that is having, we have computer zeros and ones, which is bytes, kilobytes, 1024 kilobytes, 1024 megabytes. Again, it will become GB. Again, 2024 GB will become TB, exabyte, terabyte, zettabyte, terabyte. Last will be exabyte, which we remember from RoboSigma. So that is how it will be stored. So now once you change that particular value, let's see what is happening now. See, now you see the difference. ID is different. Previously, what is the ID? It might be 20 or 27, right? Now the ID is different, 29. What is happening means string is immutable. It is having different ID means it is dereferencing the current ID. So I will just give you in the paint so that you can easily understand. I'll just open something which is a new one because I don't want to cancel this. See, here there is a container with ID 27, right? Fine. Here what it is stored, basically it is stored uh, Ahmad, basically. Is it Ahmad? Okay, is it Ahmad? Sorry, Ahmad Angular. Okay. HMAD. We have Angular first. Now what again we did for this? This is the value at first. It might be 25 based on that. Let it be. And again, you change that particular value. Now it became 29, for example. Now we changed that to Angular Arcia. Okay. Arcia Angular, whatever it may be. You just change the value. But variable will be same. Variable is same. Variable is same name too only, right? We didn't write any different name. Name too. Here also I will put name too. That is happened here. In the first iteration, I just assign some value. It allocated some memory space and there it is stored. That will be in the RAM because it's running in the RAM because we loaded. If you are opening some application means it will load into the RAM. That's why your system becomes slow. If you are opening multiple applications at same time, which is having heavy GB, even PUBG and everything, if you open in mobile, which is having 2 GB RAM, that PUBG is almost, it will take 1 GB. It's memory is almost 600 to 800 MB. If you install update again, it will become more than 1 GB. If you are using less than 2 GB phones, it might hang because the whole file is occupied the whole RAM space. So if RAM is not there to utilize for some of the applications, then system might become slow. You cannot access. That is the same way. This 27 is an ID which is stored in RAM as well because we're just opening and creating that. Angular Ahmad will be a value in that particular location. This is the memory slot. Now I already told you, this is an object reference. String is an object class. Name to is a reference for the string class. Now this will be erased and this will be dereferenced and it will be deleted and it will create the new reference for the new value and it will point to that. That is what happened now. You got it right. Previously it might be 27 or 25. Now it is 29. Now it is 29. So it's just removed the current slot, but it's not modified the value in the current memory. So what if I tell you, I want to modify the same? For the string might not be visible for the string buffer is there. You got it right. String buffer and string builder classes we have. These might take this responsibility to change that, which is mutable. Mutable means changeable. That will, it will not create the new memory. Again, it will take much time. For that, we will be using string buffer and string builder. Otherwise, it will create the new reference every time when you are reassigning the value. That we don't want, right? That is why Java string is immutable. It will not be changeable. If you try to change the value, it will create the new reference and delete the previous reference. That is might happens. That is why you'll use string buffer. You got it right. So now if I don't use string buffer, if I use string buffer, check what is happening now. I'll just put name 2. I will just uncomment this, okay? Ahmad Angular. Now I will reassign something equal to Angular Arcia. Just I'll put something. Testing Teju. So let put just put like this. We don't have name 3. Okay. So since it's a string buffer, I will just assign new string buffer of, because we need to create the new object reference. String we can directly assign it, but you are creating string reference means string buffer means you need to put like this, because this is an object class. So this buffer it should accept like this only. It's a constructor. In the next concepts, in the next session, I will tell you constructor, parameterizer constructor, default constructor, everything. So now we created the new, and I will just terminate this because that is in debugging mode. I will just print it here. Name 2. Okay. Let's debug this now so that you can easily understand what is happening here. Okay. I'll just put 3 debugging points and I will do debug as. Proceed. Okay, here we have an error. Just comment it down because we don't have name 2.2 uppercase now. So this one also we don't need. Just comment it down, okay? Debug as Java application. Now let's see, we have name 2, which is having an ID 20. Its cache is 21, values 31. Okay, which is name 2. Remember this 20, 27, 31. Again, go to the next step. Again, we have 36 as a different value. Let's see here, name as 38 value. So whenever it is storing that, right? This cache will always change because values changes. And these values will have capital A because that is having 65 and small n because that is 110. So it will always store in a reference of an object to the string cache. This string cache will come. Why? Because it should not create the new reference. You see, string cache will not be for the previous one. It should be storing the value directly. But string cache will come to the string buffer because this will be the cache. Whatever that comes next, right, that will be replaced with the current one. So that is the importance of the string buffer. And we can use string buffer. Again, we have another thing is string builder. I will change here. String builder. You can use string builder also. But there is a difference between string buffer and string builder. If there is no difference, we should not have two. There is no 2% teaching the same subject. The same way, there is no two Ahmad. There is no two Mahesh, right? Only one Mahesh. Why we don't want two Mahesh? The same way we don't want two which having the same responsibility. ఒక కంపెనీకి ఇద్దరు సీఈఓలు అవసరం లేదు ఒకటి చాలు one responsibility have only one person. The same way string buffer and string builder are different. Why? Because see multi-threading అని ఉంటుంది మనకి ఇక్కడ కాన్సెప్ట్. multi-threading అంటే బేసికల్ గా నువ్వు ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ చేస్తావు నేను ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ అట్ ఏ టైం. ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ ప్రాసెస్ ప్యారలల్లీ దట్ విల్ బి థ్రెడ్స్. సో దాన్ని ఒక్కొక్క థ్రెడ్ అంటాం. హర్షియా నాకు పే చేస్తుంది, నువ్వు మహేష్ పే చేస్తావు, మహేష్ తేజు పే చేస్తావు, తేజు సుస్మితకు పే చేస్తావు. సో ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వీఆర్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ అట్ సేమ్ టైం బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వర్కింగ్. నేను పే చేస్తున్నాను అని చెప్పి ఫోన్ పే అది తెలుసుకొని నీ ప్రాసెస్ స్టాప్ చేయదు కదా. వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ అట్ సేమ్ టైం. మల్టిపుల్ మిలియన్స్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ డూయింగ్ అట్ సేమ్ టైం. దట్ ఈస్ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్. సేమ్ టైమ్స్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్స్. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్. ఆ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్ లో ప్రీవియస్ వాల్యూ, కరెంట్ వాల్యూ, నెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ వీ నీడ్ టు హోల్డ్ ఇట్. సి ఒకేసారి మనం ఇద్దరు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు కరెంట్ వాల్యూ ఏంది 1, 2 అయింది. తర్వాత అహ్మద్ దాన్ని పంపించినప్పుడు 2, 3 అవ్వాలి. సో ఇప్పుడు 2 ప్రాసెస్ ఒకటేసారి చేయడం వల్ల 1, 1 గానే ఉండి 2, 2 గానే ఉంటే సెకండ్ ప్రాసెస్ చేసినాక 1, 2, 2, 3 అవ్వాలి. అంటే 2 ఇంక్రిమెంట్ అవ్వాలి. అలా ఇంక్రిమెంట్ కాకూడదు. అలా ఇంక్రిమెంట్ కావాలి అంటే స్ట్రింగ్ బఫర్ ఇట్ విల్ బి సింక్రనైజ్డ్ విత్ ప్రీవియస్ అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాసెస్. ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ వాంట్ దట్ విల్ గో విత్ స్ట్రింగ్ బిల్డర్. If you want thread synchronization with respect to the previous thread and the current thread, then we'll go with string builder. That's it. For development, we will use this mostly. For testing, we don't might use it. Got it, right? If you want to run the test cases in parallel, which following on strings, then you will be using string buffer. Okay. Otherwise, you'll go with string builder also. This is what all about strings. You just need to use the strings. Got it, right? And what all other things we have. So if you want to append another string to the current string. So we have name, right? Or name 2. I want to append another string. So what is name? I can append that. And I can append that and assign it to the name 2. So now you'll get that name 2, which is an appended. Appending means adding some more thing, the current existing one. See, I just appended here, right? Testing Teju Ahmad. I just added this, right? So that is how we need to use it. Appending means we are just adding something. So normally you can append the string using like this also. S is equal to Sagar plus Ahmad. This addition operation, we will call it as concatenation in strings. What it will happen in the numbers? It will be addition operation. This addition operation will add as concatenation operation. This is appending in programmatically. You can append with plus directly for the strings, right? If you want to append programmatically, you can append method. See, go to inside hints. It will just append to the super. Means super means it will be internally. So you don't want to learn this, but super means it is having the string buffer, right? This string buffer class will have super because it is having that particular value, parent level. So it will just append the current value to the existing one. So then Teju Ahmad, Teju testing will become added with Angular. If I add like that, it will be appended. So that is why it is appended. Everything in the Java, if you just control plus click on it, you will see the code, how Java is written here. That is why it is class. You know, whenever Java is compiled, it will become dot class file. Those dot class files you can execute on any environment that will be getting the result. That is what platform independent. You already know that. So that's why it's class. Since it is class, you cannot modify the code. If you modify that, that will become invalid file, right? You already know that. So that is the importance of class files. Why Java given you class files? Because otherwise you will modify that and again you will publish in the website. So, so that is not the case, right? సో వాళ్ళు దాన్ని చేంజ్ చేయకూడదు. మనం ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకున్నాము, స్ట్రింగ్ క్లాస్ వాడుతున్నాము, అవన్నీ జావా డాట్ ల్యాంగ్ లో ఉన్నాయి. విచ్ ప్యాకేజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఇన్ జావా డాట్ ల్యాంగ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ దేర్ 1994 to 2002 copyrights by Oracle. Before that it is Sun Microsystems, you already know, that is acquired. Acquired అంటే కొనుక్కోవడం, దాన్ని చేజిక్కించుకోవడం తెలుగులో. They acquired that, they paid money and they got the Java. And from there it is maintained by Oracle only. It is having that license also. So you cannot change this because that is class file, right? So that is the importance of that. And this is how you need to append the strings. And we can do all the string operations wherever we want. You got it, right? Susmita. String append. What is the use of string append? Speak louder, Susmita. What is the use of string append? Just now we have discussed. So there is a string, there is an Angular. You want to add course name as that. So Angular course, I want to add it. So I want to add some more string to the current string. That is not appending. I want to get the index of that particular string, means I want to get as caret of. Got it, right? So that is how I want to make it as 2 lowercase using dot 2 lowercase. So everything I will open as 2 lowercase. So if it is uppercase, it will get a lowercase character. If it is lowercase, we'll get uppercase character to dot 2 uppercase. So like that, we'll check with the dot contains method. If it is containing that particular string, means that we'll call a substring. And I want to take the substring of that. So from which index? From 7th index to the last. Then I will take like this string s equal to s1 equal to s dot substring of beginning index. See, you have beginning index. This is the one. And this is the beginning index and end index. If you give beginning index, it will take the rest of the string. If I give beginning index as 1, now what is the beginning index here as 1? A is in 1th place. S is in 0th place. You already know index starts with a 0 in programming language, any programming language. So if I give 1, it will start with A and ends with D. If I give 1 comma 6, it will start with A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ends with H. So that is how it will work. Substring will work. If I give 2, let's print this so that you can see the difference. Run as Java application. So you have GRAHMAT. Because it started with string, you are not giving ending string. If I give end string as a 7, it ends with H. Got it, right? So as we discussed. So it is an optional. Second parameter is an optional parameter. If you give that, it will restrict that particular index. If you don't give that, it will take all the things. How much length it will be, those much it will take. If you don't give that end index. Got it, right? If you give end index, it will stop there only. So that is what substring. So there is a programs. If you enter here Angular, how it will search? It will search as substring only, containing the substring of that. If it is having Angular, wherever it is having Angular, that is channel name or the video name, everything, or the video title, whatever it having Angular, it will get everything. That is the main thing, right? String search operation. In search operations in Google, everything. Strings are very important. If you search here in Bytesplash, I will just type like this. I don't need to type capital B and I need to attach it capital S, nothing. So this is automatically converted into two lowercase. Search operation will also automatically convert it to lowercase, and it will get all the websites, links, everything which is containing bytes plus. That's it. That is the search operation. That's why it's very important to strings to practice. Each and every programmer, each and every tester, each and every DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, everything, you need to importance of strings. You got it right? What is the importance of strings? Just to practice this. Got it? Now we'll just complete with arrays also. Arrays is nothing but you want to see. Now I want to store more than two names or two students. It's nothing but a list. I want to allocate 50 people here. So that's why I put 50 chairs. So this is the class. Class is nothing but a list variable. So you have 5 people. So I am the sixth person. I want to store in only one container. I don't want to store like this. String n1 equal to Teju. String n2 equal to Susmita. String n3 equal to Arshia. N4 equal to Ahmad. If there is any mistake, you might also tell me, sir, there is a mistake. Got it right? I don't want to store like this. I want to store in a list so that I can access and made it. So this will come as arrays. Arrays is nothing but a list of values storing more than one values, which is homogeneous. Homogeneous means same data type. Remember it. Homogeneous means same. Heterogeneous means different data types. That is what is the definition you learned in BTech. But those definition you might not even practice, right? How it is really. So now I want to store it. Names. I can directly store it or how much I want to allocate. I can allocate like new string of mm, new string of I want to allocate 50 people, not more than that. I can create like this. So I can store only 50 people. Got it right? Or if I want to store ID card numbers, that is also string as of now, but let it remember as an integer. I want to store int ID numbers equal to new int of 50 because I want 50. So this is what array declaration. This is single dimension array. If you want to store multi-dimension means I want to put like this. Multi-dimension means what? You might know Excel sheet. Excel sheet, remember this. You have an employee with the name, ID, class, etc. But you have one employee with the name, ID, class. Again, you have more than one employees. One dimension is employee, second employee, third employee. Another dimension means what are the properties it is having. Second dimension. So that will become as, see for example, I will just comment and down. What is the multi-line comment in Java? This is the multi-line comment, okay? So this is the multi-line comment. So now just see name, ID, course name. So this we can store these three values in a single array if it is okay. Then I want name as first T1. T means Teja, Teju, Ahmad. So course name Angular. Okay. Again, I want to store S, Susmita, to Mahesh, Angular. See now, this is one dimension and this is second dimension, which are columns, right? So that is what two dimensions. Now, if I want to access T, which is T might be anything. So S might be anything, Susmita. So what is happening? I want to access this one. Let's see. It is there in the second row. Got it. Second row means which index? First index. First row means zeroth index. So now again in second row, what is that index? First index or second index? Again in second row, name will be zeroth index, right? ID will be first index. Now how to access this? This you can access like this, or you can modify like this. 1, 0. You understood why it is 1, 0. 1 means it is the second row. This is the first row. This is the second row. Second row means it is first index. You need to put as first one. After that, you will get as columns. In columns again, what is that? Name is the first index. Means it is 0. You can access like this. So if you want to store 5 records, means 5 people, I want to give as, like I can give as string as of now. Okay. String people as 2-dimension array. equal to new string of 5 comma 5. See, now this 5 is depend on the columns. I will tell you. I want to store 5 people because rows are 5. First one will as rows. What is the second one? I have only 3 columns. Name, ID, and course. That I will declare as 3. That's it. We can access and add it. That's it. So this is the 2-dimension array. 1-dimension array I will continue and just tell you on how to access it. So since it's names, right, I want to store 50. We can store like this. Names of 0 equal to like first one. Susmita means first value. Names of 1 equal to what? Ahmad. I can store like this. Now you see there is a difficulty to storing like this and accessing like this. Names of 0 plus names of 1. There is a difficulty in order to do this, right? There might be difficulty, definitely. So in order to cope up with this situation, Java we given a priority like privilege in order to use the existing one. We have something like from java.util. We have list as array list. Array list. We no need to create the memory. See, we just created 50 people now. Again, we come here and change if 51% joins in the next session. We don't want to do that. Dynamically, it should grow. For that, we'll use as array list. Array list. What is the type I want to store? String, right? Equal to, I just need to create an object for this new array list. Here, the same way, this is nothing but generic. So you can give an integer if you want to create the integer array. If you want to create Boolean array, you can create the Boolean here. The same way you need to put here. If you don't put here also, it is optional because you already declared this. Here you no need to mention. Now you can add n number of things. First one I can add Susmita. It will grow dynamically. How I can access this AL? I can directly add it like this. For int I equal to 0, it starts with index 0. I less than AL dot, it is having size I plus plus. You know for loop, right? Just system dot out dot println AL dot get by index. Otherwise, you can't get A. If you print AL, it will print the object. I, because everything I will become integer like 0, 1, 2, 3 to iterate. That's why I need to print. Again, I will print AL. What it will do? Let's see here. It will print an object reference like at the rate some object name and object ID. That we don't want. What I will do here, I will just comment each and everything here. We want only that. This is multi-line comment I did. This one also I don't want. Okay. Now let's see what is happening. Okay, this one I just commented, right? We'll use only this one now. Run as Java application. See, so basically, Susmita Sampath it will store. If I print AL, right, whatever the value it is having, everything will print. We don't want that. That's why we should not print AL here. We should get that particular thing by ID. Got it, right? Since it's a more than one value, we have in square braces, which we already know. Array will be stored in square braces by comma separated. That is more than one value we have. This is what about arrays. So we can store a multi-dimension also, but multi-dimension also is not needed for you for testing. For development, it might be needed for some of the cases. If you want to store multi-dimension also, you need to store like this. Like how, for example, this is the people, right? I'll just comment it down. So you need to store like this. People of 0 by 1 means 0th index or 0, 0 by 0. Name will be Suma. Again, people of 0 by 1 means an ID, right? Suma's ID is T00001. Again, I want to store the another people. 1 of 0. Mahesh. Again, 1 of 1, right? T000. We want to store like this and we can access that this way. But we will not follow 2 dimension because we don't use that as a testing purpose. For development purpose, it is okay. For testing purpose, we don't want. And we can access this. Got it, right? And we have array operations. You just put dot, add, clear, clone, contains. If you just want to check whether it is containing some value or not. If it is containing, it will return true as you know as a string. The same way we have method get by index, get class, index of is empty. If it is empty, it will show true. We need to check that. Everything will be using this code. Just to practice it, just go through this particular website and material in registration portal, right? So we are following core Java. This is the module 4, right? This will continue the next session. Why I'm going slow? Because you just need to understand each and every example so that I will not repeat it again. You just need to practice it. Go here. You have strings and you have strings in Java. Just string concatenation, substring, string comparison, right? Equals using dot equals method. So we have everything here. So just to practice this based on that and what we explained in today's class, practice that one also. I will just upload this. I will just terminate this. I will just upload this material, okay, in the LMS where I upload this. I think here only. Here only I will upload this class material in the some kind of so that you can download it and you can see the same code how we practice and you can practice the same. You just need to practice more string and arrays only. String and arrays more and even data types, primitive or non-primitive, converting to the class. These are 4 are important. Tomorrow we'll see the how we will read and write from console using scanner class. After that, we'll go forward. Okay. Chalo. So just practice this. Tomorrow I will ask you to write on board, like write in laptop so that everyone will be visible. So you want to